The Out of Bounds Show podcast is powered by the DeWalt tools at Ace Bolt and Screw. Visit acebolt.net for a location near you.
Pickens Jackson.
All systems go.
Live from the Whiskey 61 Lounge inside the Bank Plus studio.
This is Out of Order.
Live in the studio. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. Streaming live worldwide on the Out of Bounds radio app. And on your radio at ESPN 105.9.
All set? Let's go.
The Zone.
Man. Good morning on Cinco de Mayo. Holy Mary old Zab. Where's this show going to go? Our Cinco de Mayo discussion will be brought to you by Modelo. Fantastic beer throughout the show. That doesn't mean that we're drinking beer throughout the show, but that is, we'll be talking about Modelo and our big giveaway, the super cool Modelo cooler that we just posted again on Facebook and Twitter. Guess we'll have to throw it back up on the gram. We'll have it on Instagram in the next 15 minutes. And welcome in. Good morning to the Out of Bounds Show. I'm your host, Bo Bounds, if that's what you want to call it. And you're listening to 105.9 The Zone, ESPN, WRKS. We're streaming live on the Out of Bounds radio app. And that's how you enter to possibly win the super duper cool Modelo cooler that is gold and navy. It's really, really cool. But that's how you enter. Just show us that you have the app via Twitter. Send us a text on the Mississippi Ag text line, 601-885-3776. Again, tweet to us, tag us on Facebook. You know where to go on Facebook. Search the Out of Bounds Show. So, and I guess you could DM it, but as Blake said, I don't know how much we're going to check our DMs. So it's better to put it out there on the Mississippi Ag text line, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. And bam, there you go. So Blake and hold on real quick. Couple different ways that you can get in touch with us. Farm Bureau Insurance call-in line, 601-707-3750. Twitter handle at Bo Bounds, presented by Ace Bolt and Screw, powered by DeWalt Tools. And then I just gave it to you, your Mississippi Ag John Deere tractor text line is 601-885-3776. Blake and I did some R&D, research and development, yesterday at lunch. We went to Chimichangas?
Casadores.
Yes. We went to Casadores, and we had the Mocajete.
The Mocajete.
And we ordered a couple of Modelos and got some great picks, and it was just an all-around good time. We saw Whit McGee, the mortgage man, and Mayor McGee, the mayor of Ridgeland, while we were there, too. And
Go Hogs. Yes, sir.
that guy's going to be celebrating Cinco de Mayo.
That's how I felt about the Mocajete yesterday.
Yeah. It was good.
It's delicious.
It was good.
Delicious.
I haven't been to Casadores
Yes.
in a few months, and so that was good. And I guess people will celebrate with Modelos and Dos Equis and so on, and margaritas and all kinds of stuff.
That's right.
Throughout the day. Well, I guess maybe a better way to put it is in states where people are moving around like this one. People will celebrate Cinco de Mayo, and the place we were at was packed. Let me give you a couple of little nuggets here. 59% of people will eat Mexican food today. 32% will drink margaritas. 17% will drink Mexican beer. I think that's low, but okay. 14% will go to a party. That could be skewed with COVID. And 8% will go to a bar. So there you go. And 39% of people don't know what Cinco de Mayo is. And according to this, don't care. It was Mexico defeating the French at the Battle of Puebla in 1862. And I spent 3 weeks in Puebla. It is a definitely French design architect town. It is a beautiful town about 8,000 feet above sea level. So you really don't have to have, it's weird. You don't have to have air conditioning. So the hotel that we stayed at, that was a monastery, that was converted into some kind of, I remember which flag they were flying at that point. Hilton or Best Western? It was a long time ago. There was no air conditioning. It was nothing but stone, though. Oh, not stone. Obviously there's no carpet in the building. There's really no drapes, and the ceilings were 20, 30, 40 feet. I mean, it's kind of wide open.
It's like staying in a mausoleum.
Yeah, it was.
It's all like granite or mason work.
Yes.
Yeah, masonry.
Yes, it was beautiful, beautiful place as far as architecturally.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it was off the whole lobby, the restaurant in there. The rooms were double rooms, like 2 bedrooms. And then you had balconies and stuff. It was cool, but it would get. I was there in May, June, and it would get chilly at night. Because I guess it was 8,000 feet above sea. I think it was 8. It may have been 5. I'll have to go back and look. Anyway.
That's more information about Pueblo than anyone ever thought they'd learn today.
Well, I didn't know that we were going to stay there for 3 weeks. But that was where the Mexican university was that we studied Spanish 3 and 4 at. You were trying to throw out some you were kind of goobing me out yesterday. You were trying to speak Spanish to our waiter.
No, not trying to. I can speak Spanish.
I mean, just because you can say
muy bueno.
cerveza doesn't mean you're speaking Spanish.
No. Yo entiendo mucho.
Mm-hmm.
Yo hablo
He
mucho.
was looking at you like, I can't say it on the air, but, and then you were super high maintenance in the end.
Oh, my God.
To get your to-go food, and then, of course, you always have to get a to-go drink.
The problem with the molcajete is, one, it's hard to finish it because it's massive, but 2, you can't put that thing in a styrofoam box. It'll melt right through that sucker.
I know. And you were asking him for...
it's an aluminum container.
Yeah, you
but
were
I
saying
said metal.
You said metal.
I don't know. I mean, I wasn't thinking about aluminum. I don't know. I just meant the tin one.
Whatever.
clearly
Other than
not
that, I had a good
styrofoam.
meal, and I had a Modelo, and we ate. Although you ate more than me, you hammered that molcajete. And I thought the queso was good. Salsa, that combo is right on. It's very, very righteous, and it was delicious. But I don't know if I'm going to hit a Mexican restaurant today. I did text Robert St. John early this morning, and I said, I wish we had a really, really good Tex-Mex place here, because he just opened El Rayo in the Berg.
I know he needs to come
In
open one up
Hattiesburg.
here.
Dude, if he opened El Rayo in the Jackson Metro, it'd be serious. Especially if he dropped it. I don't know, where would you drop it? Didn't P.F. Chang's go out of business?
Oh, yeah. I don't think anything's there.
Yeah. Boy, if he could do it in the Renaissance or something, that would be off the chains.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
What? Would you
No,
like that?
I was thinking, yeah, because you'd have Biaggi's.
But I mean, I know the rent would be through the roof too.
Yeah,
So
rent
I
over here is insane.
don't know how that would work. But I figure El Rayo slings. I mean, that type of place slings enough food, you could pay it.
See, and Robert would do it better than, the place that tried to do it in Eastover and then didn't last.
And what was that place called?
Sophomore Spanish Club.
Never heard of it.
It was, just inconsistent.
Is it where like Sal and Mookie's is now?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, same
Really?
place. Yeah, they changed the layout, but yeah.
But what? I don't know if that's right. But so that place
I
was
thought
a
that
couple
was.
of different things.
Yeah, there were 2 Mexican restaurants over there. Both of them failed. There was one before that.
That's hard to do.
Yeah,
It's hard to fail
and
in
they
a
were
Mexican
both
restaurant.
like supposed to be
because
more.
most of it's the same food.
They're supposed to be like upscaler, more upscale,
More, okay,
more
like
like
El Rayo.
what Robert St. John's doing. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
It's just hard.
Interesting.
You gotta be attentive in the restaurant industry. You gotta be hands on. You can't let that slide, man.
Are you gonna have a margarita today, Wild Man?
Maybe a Tito's Rita.
Tito's Rita, dude. All right, we're giving away $25 gift certificate to Two Brothers Smoked Meats, 1 per hour, and this unbelievable Modelo Cerveza cooler. Just show us that you have the Out of Bounds radio app. That's how you enter, and you could win. And tweet it to us, Facebook it to us, Instagram it, whatever. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. Welcome in. Good morning. John Cohen at 8:30. We'll be back in a second. The Out of Bounds Show podcast is brought to you by Boar's Head. Premium meats, cheeses, and hummus. Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.
What's on the big board?
Good morning. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Presented by Modelo. Presented by Modelo. Call it. We are giving away a super good-looking Modelo cooler. Compliments of Capital City Beverage. Thank you, Cap City. They obviously are part of, well, they distribute Modelo, Dos Equis, Corona Premier, Tecate, among others. Not a bad portfolio. We're super excited to have the fastest growing beer in the country on the Out of Bounds show and promoting it. It's delicious beer. And I enjoyed one where, Blake, yesterday?
Cazadores.
All right. There you go. They don't even need any advertising.
No, I don't know if they can do much more business. They're pretty much full.
It's incredible. What a business model, man.
All right, so I would put Cazadores right in terms of like money printers. I would put it right up there with Chick-fil-A in Madison and the Nukes in Ridgeland.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
I'd like to look at all three of those books.
I can't imagine what. Yeah. Obviously, the price point is significantly lower at Cazadores than probably the other two.
No, because at Cazadores you drink.
Okay.
And so at Chick-fil-A, even though yes they do very, very well, you can't run your numbers up on a per ticket basis.
I don't usually drink at Cazadores. I just get like unsweet tea or something.
Well,
so, yeah.
You're weird. I mean, you also tried to talk to the waiter in Spanish.
Yeah.
So that was
wow. It was I would say that is right up there with Nukes and Chick-fil-A in terms of constantly making money.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yesterday we ordered the Mocajete.
Yes.
And 2 beers and a queso.
Yes.
And it was $27. That's pretty good.
That's a steal.
Yeah. I mean, because I paid for it, of course.
Duh. Obviously. It's business expense.
Right. Well,
did we not talk about the show the whole time?
I don't know if we talked about it the whole time. You were trying to
loose interpretation of talking to in Spanish.
Yeah,
that's
whatever.
Fine.
Hey, I do have a cool announcement that we're going to have Jeff Duncan join us in studio on May 18th. How about that?
He's pretty good at what he does.
Yeah, he is. He's big time New Orleans, Louisiana columnist, and he just wrote a book on Peyton and Breeze, the men who built the greatest offense in NFL history. And he'll join us in studio, driving up from NOLA to join us in studio on May 18th. That's going to be exciting.
There you go. They'll be here sooner than later, before you know it.
That's right. A couple weeks from now. So that's exciting. The Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN, is brought to you by Superior Foundation for all your foundation repairs. You want to go with Superior Foundation. Superior.ms. You can find them on Facebook. Superior Foundation for all your foundation repairs. Hope everybody's safe after another bad storm coming through the Sun Belt yesterday. That thing was nasty, dangerous, and violent. So I hope you're safe. Hope you're doing well. I saw at one point 39,000 people without electricity in Hinds County, and I know they're working to get that back on. But Blake, did you lose electricity?
It flickered twice for like a second.
Got it.
And then that was it. My TV like blinked off and turned back on, and that was it. I was watching. I told my dad I'm old because I was watching the Weather Channel.
Were you really?
Well, that's not true. It wasn't the Weather Channel. It was the news. Hartman?
Okay.
David Hartman?
Who?
Which one is that one?
That is APT.
Sure.
I think.
I think it was ABC on my TV.
Yeah, then that's WAPT.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have that right.
YouTube TV doesn't give me the local on the guide. It just says ABC on the guide. So
Okay. All right.
And I wasn't paying attention to the letters on the TV. But
Yeah.
yeah, I watched him.
By the time I got home, Wendy had the channel on one of those stations, and
It took me a minute to find it because again, it's not on there locally, and I don't ever turn on the news, so I didn't know which channel it was.
we had to go out the lake and get a canoe.
That floated out into the water.
Yeah, it floated out in the middle.
Nice.
Yeah.
We didn't have any damage in my neighborhood.
Of course, that's not any damage. So there are people listening that
Yeah.
went through hell yesterday or 2 days ago. So, again, God bless you, and you're in our thoughts and prayers. You were fortunate. I was fortunate. There's a lot of others listening that were fortunate. So those things are scary, man. And they can run up on you, and it can get serious.
The video footage of some of them were insane.
Awful.
It was intense.
Awful. Do we want to go ahead and drop the audio of Bartoo, or do we want to wait to the SEC Insider
We'll
hit?
do all that in the next segment.
Yeah, we've got 22, 23 minutes in the next segment.
You should hit the Wolken.
Well, Dan Wolken,
You got 5 minutes.
this is just so much nonsense. Dan Wolken with USAtoday.com wrote an article. SEC football should require COVID-19 vaccination to attend games.
Hot garbage.
Help turn corner in lagging South. And then he writes a bunch of blah, blah, blah about how the SEC should do this. They can't do it. They'll take a massive hit at the gate and in donations. So, again, people that want to get the vaccine should get it. And those that don't want to get it should. There should be no mandate. But there's a lot of government overreach right now. And the journalists really, really have gotten all into this, obviously. And he talks about how the South lags behind the rest of the country. And that is there any single thing that could be more motivated than telling people they need to show proof of vaccination to get inside Bryant-Denny Stadium or the Swamp? He says that kind of move might be controversial in some quarters, but it wouldn't be particularly radical. Oh, yes, it would, Dan. This whole thing's been radical.
It's an unregulated vaccine.
Absolutely, yeah. It's not approved by the FDA. It's incredible.
There's been no testing.
But the East and the West, East Coast, West Coast journalists / media will not lead with that. It hasn't been passed by the FDA. He says right now, if you want to go to a Brooklyn Nets game, you either have to show proof of vaccination or take a COVID-19 test shortly before or upon arrival at the arena. Yeah, because we want to follow what New York and New Jersey has done the last year. I mean, no thanks. So I wanted to share with you that Dan Wolken's article this morning, in his opinion, that it needs to be mandatory to get in the game. He talks about college campuses in particular are in a unique situation because football games bring tens of thousands of people in contact with their community from various surrounding areas. He goes on to say if you're a campus health official who wants to keep potential variants out of the campus population, is there risk if a significant portion of fans coming into town haven't been vaccinated?
Let me ask you this question. What would people spend more on, their tailgating setup or just vaccination cards that have been filled out?
Well, it's going to be an unbelievable market.
I mean, the black market vaccination card club? Come on now.
We'll be heavy, just like every market like that. Yeah, that's a great point. Which one? I don't know, but I don't see that happening. And I think that's just more nonsense from the media elite. We're going to get into some unbelievable audio from Bartoo and Luganville talking about more fun things than that coming up next for the SEC Insider Hit. The show is brought to you by USA Pawn and their mega store, usapawn.com, I-55 South, McDowell Road, usapawn.com. Tools, electronics, firearms, all at USA Pawn. Show is also brought to you by Boar's Head. delicious meats, cheeses, and hummus. You can find it at Corner Market in Bellhaven, Fondren, Northside Drive. Great selection of Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere. SEC Insider Hit. Coming up next. The Out of Bounds Show podcast is presented by Edwin Watts Golf Shop on County Line Road. Your golf game starts with Edwin Watts Golf Shop.
Check it out. This is the SEC Insider Hit. It's driven by the John Deere tractors at Mississippi Ag. Visit agup.com to find a retail location near you.
Let's go.
Oh, man. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show. ESPN 105.9 The Zone. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. Blake Mania is with me. He attempted to speak Spanish to our waiter yesterday as we were at Casadora's enjoying a Modelo and some Mocajete, according to Blake. It was an interesting experience for me, one that I wanted to crawl under the table. But anyway, your thoughts on that, the Mississippi Ag John Deere Tractor text line, 601-885-3776. Did you take Spanish in high school and college or just one?
Both.
Okay. Is that why you were trying to show off your Spanish skills?
I'm pretty sure I said "sí" and "gracias." So
but there was some other things you were trying to say.
I don't think so, but that's fine.
Okay. All right. Are you sure about that?
I mean,
I think you
I don't
said
know.
a couple of sentences.
I may have said queso instead of cheese dip.
No.
I don't remember. I really don't. That wasn't the way. So I when we went there like every week as a family,
yeah,
I knew a couple of the waiters. That guy I did not recognize. So I do mess around with the guys that I know because they used to mess with me when we would go in there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not know. I
hope you got that out of your system.
We had to go. We had to go order. We had to do a whole meal in Spanish in high school for a Spanish class project.
Oh, really?
In AP Spanish.
Wow.
Yeah, I
bet that was
the whole
riveting.
meal with the teacher sitting at the table. All of us. So we go like a group of 10 people, and everyone had to do the whole thing in Spanish. It was a disaster.
Yeah. Okay. My story on spending a month in Mexico is better than that.
Well, yeah, because it was a high school Spanish class.
Exactly.
There's very few things that aren't better than a high school Spanish.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right. SEC Insider Hit this morning, brought to you by the Modelo cooler that we're giving away as part of Cinco de Mayo, and the $25 gift certificate to Two Brothers Smoked Meats, super cool restaurant and bar in Starkville that has delicious street tacos. And basically, you can enter to win both by just showing us that you have the Out of Bounds radio app. You can text it to us, tweet it to us, tag us on Facebook or Instagram. Instagram is Bo_Bounds, Facebook, the Out of Bounds Show, Twitter at Bo Bounds. And then the Mississippi Ag text line is 601-885-3776. 885-3776. So we're giving away the super cool Modelo cooler today and a $25 gift certificate to Two Brothers Smoked Meats every hour. 75 total, but you'll win one if you're fortunate enough to be picked. And then you can celebrate with some tacos and a Modelo at Two Brothers whenever you're in Stark Vegas. Whether that's a week or 2 weeks or however that looks. I do want to, real quick, Ole Miss won last night 15-12.
That's wild.
Over Arkansas State. Tommy Raffo's Arkansas State.
That's right.
What are they, like the Red Wolves?
I think that's correct.
Okay. I told you about almost getting snowed in Jonesboro years ago. That was nuts. And what else am I getting? Ole Miss will go to A&M to play this weekend, a 3-game series. And then Mississippi State will play the Citadel tonight, I guess, weather permitting.
6 o'clock, weather permitting.
Okay. And then they will travel from Charleston to Columbia to play the Gamecocks in a 3-game series.
Starting Friday.
Okay. And we don't have any weird, funky Thursday, Friday, Saturday things going on, do
I'll
we?
have to look at Ole Miss, but
Okay.
I don't believe so.
All right, cool. That always, gets me.
No, neither of our schools play on Thursday.
All right, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Ole Miss at A&M and Hail State at South Carolina. 2 new schools, kind of. I mean, South Carolina 92, A&M 2012, but they'll still never really get that feel of, always being in the SEC. But anyway, big series for Dogs and Rebs. And then we'll know more on Monday, Blake. They'll announce
The 20 semifinalists, I guess.
Yeah. The NCAA is going to butcher this because they're just like the federal government, bureaucracy and incompetent. But it will be interesting to see how this all plays out on Monday after this weekend.
Question.
They're going to name 20 sites and then
Cut to 16.
cut to 16.
So here's my question. What would be worse? To be in the 20 and then not be in the 16 or not be in the 20 at all?
Well, that's a good point.
Right?
That's
it's
tough.
the age-old question. Do you want to get blown out or do you want to lose by 1 on a heartbreaking last-second shot, right? Like, do you even want to be emotionally invested at that point?
Goodness gracious. The Out of Bounds Show is brought to you by Independent Roofing Systems, the #1 commercial roofing company in the state of Mississippi, family-owned since 1980. Small jobs, mid-sized jobs, and big jobs like the Beau Rivage, Nissan, and the Golden Moon Casino. Roofing.ms, roofing.ms. Joe, Melissa, and Larry and the team will take care of you. Independent Roofing Systems for your next commercial job. Roofing.ms. And another great Mississippi company. We appreciate them. And also one of our major sponsors for the Out of Bounds charity event. I want to thank Joe and Melissa and Larry for stepping up last November as we were raising money for Extra Table, Robert St. John's awesome charity that feeds people in need all around the state of Mississippi, from the Delta to the Pine Belt to the coast and everywhere else. We're live in the Bank Plus studio, Out of Bounds, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Do I have anything on the Mississippi Ag text line that I need to get to? Other than if somebody's making fun of you, then I would like to hit on that.
No, people are turning in their submission for the cooler left and right.
Okay.
That's kind of the hot ticket right now.
Yeah. And shout out to Barton Dinkins and Terry Powell and the crew with Two Brothers in Starkville for letting us give away 3 $25 gift certificates to Two Brothers so you can smash some wings and street tacos. What else?
I was going to say, I'm not sure what's happening more, submissions for the cooler or reactions to Dan Wolken. None of those are airable.
Dan Wolken's latest is just unbelievable. Let's get into, first of all, Blake, will Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers get a divorce? Okay, that's question one. Because that impacts the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott and my New Orleans Saints fans. Now, I'm a huge Dak Prescott fan, which has made me reluctantly a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, although I have no real, confidence in Jerry Jones or Kellen Moore, Dak Prescott's offensive coordinator. I do have a lot of confidence in Dak Prescott because he's one hell of a football player and leader and all that. But the fact that Aaron Rodgers is in the NFC, and we tend to be more NFC-driven in the Sun Belt because of our proximity to one, New Orleans, and 2, Dallas, and maybe Atlanta. But I think it's more the fact that the Cowboys coming out of the gate under Tom Landry built, a big franchise and following. And then 2, the Saints are 2.5 hours plus down the road. And now that they've won the last 15 years, it is really unbelievable what has happened to the Saints, to the franchise, the way they're run, their prime time spots that they now. The Saints were never, first of all, the Saints telecast was always crappy. I mean, that's one thing I remember in the 80s, right? And in the 90s, it didn't get any better. And then the early 2000s, They didn't play any offense, so it was a super boring team until 2006. Now, all of a sudden, they go to the playoffs all the time. They've been to NFC championship games, and who would have thunk it? They've actually won the Super Bowl and the Lombardi Trophy, which is, and I've actually held it and have a picture of it because I did a remote at a Bank Plus branch location years ago when they were, I guess, bringing it through.
The tour?
The tour.
The trophy tour?
Because it was Michael Lewis. I think I got that right. And McAfee were there because that's kind of the tie with the Saints. Okay. And God bless that lady who had to meet me at like 6 a.m. in the morning to open up the bank. I still remember that. We went down to, it was one of their Rankin County.
What an odd place to do a show.
Where was I? I was out on Highway 80, I think.
And you were in the bank?
I was in the bank
That's
because
so weird.
They had the Lombardi Trophy in there that day.
I know, but it's just odd to think of like a radio show in a bank.
I know.
Like a bank lobby.
I know.
That's very odd.
There's a lot of security there.
But that's what I was about to say. They're not. That's one that usually we're alone when we set up in the morning.
That's true.
Not in the bank.
The weirdest part of doing the show is when I do a remote from a casino in the morning.
It's like being in school on the weekend.
Yes.
It's that just weird. You're like, this just feels weird.
Because there's 4 people in there.
Yep.
That probably shouldn't be in there.
Well, no one should be in the casino
6 a.m.
6 a.m.
Okay?
Exactly.
And you're getting set up in the casino, and it's eerie.
It's just quiet. You hear you hear the guy.
No doubt.
You hear the lady pulling the slot 4 like sections over because it's the only slot machine going between you and them. It's very weird.
I can't tell you how many casino floors I have rolled our remote equipment across.
Yeah, I believe it.
At 6 o'clock in the morning. Now, we've done a bunch of them in the afternoon, too, which is cool. I mean, we obviously do the Golden Moon Casino Sportsbook or dance. See, Dancing Rabbit in the morning makes sense because guys are walking, men and women, are walking in there to get ready to go play golf.
Yeah.
Because people will tee off at a pretty early time at times.
And it's a more peaceful starting point for the morning show, like as opposed to like the casino, which is just like a place that you think of like things going, fast-paced action, like being on the Dancing Rabbit patio or whatever before, for the show is a good spot.
I will say this. Dancing Rabbit is one of my favorite places to do a remote because of that. One, people are kind of moving around early, and that back balcony overlooking the courses is awesome. Nick says on the Mississippi Ag text line, and Blake is feeling it necessary to text back to everybody that's texting in today. But I've been that guy at 6 a.m. that shouldn't be there. Nick, that doesn't surprise me about you. Just the texts that you've sent us over the years.
Correct.
I think there's plenty of guys listening, maybe women too, that have been there at 5 and 6 a.m., probably usually in your younger days, under 30, under 40. Eventually, you're not that mad at it, but I guess there could be some listening that can still roll through midnight, 2 a.m., 4 a.m., and be there still going strong at 5 or 6 in the morning. I don't know how we got into that, but anyway, it is interesting doing a show from the casino at 7 a.m. in the morning. Now, let's go back to Aaron Rodgers. We were talking about, I don't know how
we talked about the bank remote.
That's it.
Because
the
of the
Lombardi Trophy. All right, so Aaron Rodgers impacts Dak Prescott. And if he goes to the AFC, he's out. And Tom Brady is is about ready to retire. It would be great if the AFC was QB heavy, more so than the NFC. You still got good players, obviously, like Russell Wilson, among others. But if Aaron Rodgers is shipped out of the NFC to the AFC, won't that be wild? And how will that look? He could go into the toughest division of football. And if he goes to the Broncos or Raiders and face Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and then it just kind of depends on where he lands. I think Gruden and Aaron Rodgers would be a train wreck, but one that would be awesome to to watch and see how it unfolded. I think we all know that Gruden's an average at best coach, but a great TV personality and brand. Now, speaking of quarterbacks working or not working, this is what Dave Bartoo had to say on quarterback development in the NFL. Okay.
If you're not good enough in college, it doesn't matter where you go. That's it. You're on your own. This whole nurturing by NFL franchises is a bunch of BS. You know what NFL franchises are good at with quarterbacks? Making them fail.
So remember that with Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, Mac Jones, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, just to name a few. And then what will the Jets do with Zach Wilson out of BYU? So that was Bartoo on the fact that NFL franchises don't develop quarterbacks. You are what you are, and you either sink or swim, and you either make it or don't make it. Now, this is what Tom Luginbill had to say about quarterback development in the NFL.
Well, I think you can retard a QB in the sense he can regress if you're trying to stick a square peg in a round hole. Listen, it's not 25 years ago where when you entered into the National Football League, you know what you were trained to do as a quarterback? Take 3-step drops, 5-step drops, throw on time, work through progressions, find checkdowns, all right? You weren't in the no huddle. You weren't in the shotgun. Right? You weren't throwing for 4,500 yards. There weren't bubble screens, okay? There weren't RPOs. The game has evolved so significantly, and the quarterback position, in my opinion, has become so oversimplified in terms of what they ask them to do. I think when you say, okay, the NFL doesn't develop quarterbacks, I would tend to agree if you're asking the quarterback to do something that from the age of 5 to 20, he's never been asked to do.
So that was Tom Luginbill yesterday discussing quarterback development in the NFL. Now, we have two great case studies here, Eli Manning and Dak Prescott, and what they did. They started over 30 games, both of them, in Oxford and Starkville, which helped them. They were both fifth-year seniors, so they had an opportunity to spend a lot of time in Oxford and Starkville growing up and kind of figuring out life and who they are. As Bartoo referenced, everybody today wants to take their lottery ticket and cash it, which I don't blame them. You have a big year. You want to leave as a true junior. I mean, the other positions I get, running back, you're going to get, clipped in the knee. Linebacker, you're going sideline to sideline, boom. All of a sudden, the career's over. Go. I get it. Take the lottery ticket, cash it, do it. I'm never mad at a young man when they leave. Safety, get out of there. But quarterback's a little bit different deal. Remember Peyton Manning? He started a few games into his true freshman year, and then he started well over 30 games at Tennessee. You can really go back and look. Montana, Elway at Stanford, Peyton Manning at Tennessee, Eli Manning at Ole Miss, Dak Prescott at Mississippi State, Drew Brees at Purdue. I mean, every now and then you have an outlier or someone that, can come in. Cam Newton. 1 year starting at Auburn, was a good quarterback in the NFL.
But he also went through 2 years of college. He wasn't a freshman coming out. He had been 3 years removed from high school by that point. So even though he only had 1 year starting, he had been through the growth. He was more mature than just a freshman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He had been at Florida. He had been at JUCO. He had been at Auburn. A little bit different deal. But still had not started anywhere near 25 to 30 games at the Power 5 level. But he was able to pull it off. It eventually, for the most part, catches up to you when it comes to playing in the NFL. So Mac Jones has not played a lot of football out of Alabama. Trey Lance has not played a lot of football out of North Dakota State. Now, Justin Fields has played a good bit of football for Ohio State. Will that work out for him? Going to the Chicago Bears? Can he start 30-plus games in his career? We'll see what happens in Chicago. The Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. We're streaming live on the Out of Bounds radio app, and we're celebrating Cinco de Mayo by giving away a Modelo, super cool Modelo cooler, and a $25 gift certificate to Two Brothers Smoked Meats every hour today. So how do you enter to possibly win? Just show us that you have the Out of Bounds radio app downloaded. Just snap a picture and send it in on the Mississippi Ag text line, 601-885-3776. Or you can tag us on Facebook. Search the Out of Bounds Show, or on Instagram. Now, another story that is kind of brewing here is so Mississippi State, Ole Miss had a second-round pick and a fourth-round pick this year in the NFL. Elijah Moore could have easily gone in the first round, but he was an All-American wide receiver. And then Royce Newman was an All-SEC offensive lineman. Mississippi State didn't have anybody drafted until late in the seventh round with Marquise Spencer and Kylan Hill. So I think the question is how, when you look at the transition from Mullen to Moorhead and you look at your top-end talent, you have to ask the question, where is it? Like, you know, And what do you have next year? Now, Martin Emerson, who's a cornerback, could emerge as a top 2-round pick. Maybe there's another guy or two that could emerge, like Charles Cross. If he finally has a huge year, he could go on and go as a redshirt sophomore. Charles Cross was considered the number one prospect in the state of Mississippi a couple of years ago. And so maybe you get something there. Maybe Charles Cross plays his way into a top 2-round pick. But I do have a question. I mean, first of all, the transition was pretty brutal. And I guess some top 25 classes, recruiting classes, are better than others. I don't guess they are, right? Because Moorhead stayed in the 25 to 30 range. But do you still have, I mean, do you have the talent that you're looking for? Ole Miss, I think, is going to have a first-round pick. Matt Corral. Now, could some other guys? I don't know about the offensive lineman. That unit was unbelievable. It was the best unit in the state of Mississippi. It's the reason why they won games, and it's a reason why Kiffin's offense was up and running from the jump against the Florida Gators. But I think the guys to keep an eye on are Matt Corral, Charles Cross, Martin Emerson, maybe another Ole Miss offensive lineman. And I don't see Jerrion Ely as a top 2-round pick. He's a phenomenal player. He could have a monster year. But the way that the running back position has been devalued, you know, if everything lined up, I think he'd be more in like the 3, 4, 5 round range if he decided to go. We'll have John Cohen coming up at 8:30 on the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Brought to you by Ace Bolt and Screw, powered by DeWalt Tools, and their new retail location in Gluckstadt, Madison County. acebolt.net. That's acebolt.net.